Thank you. 2.1 call to order. I will call the California Military Institute regular board meeting to order at 5:07 p.m. I'm going to ask for a roll call to determine a quorum. Trustee Anaya? Here. Thank you. Trustee Stafford?
Here.
Thank you. Trustee Hall?
Present.
Thank you. Trustee Garcia?
Here.
Thank you. Trustee Campos here. We have established a quorum. 3.1 invitation to address the Board of Trustees, closed session items only. Are there any public comments on closed session items?
There are no public comments.
Thank you so much. 4.1, adjourn to closed session. Do I have a motion to adjourn to closed session? If necessary. Is there a need? Okay, so the first is Trustee Garcia. Do I have a second? Thank you, Trustee Anaya. Seeing no further discussion, please vote. Upon a vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed. We are adjourning to closed session at 5:08 p.m. Okay, 5.1, the regular board meeting of the California Military Institute is reconvening at 5:20 p.m. 6.1, revision, adoption, ordering of agenda, August 13, 2025. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Trustee Garcia. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Hall. Seeing no discussion, please vote. Upon a vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Moving on to oral report, 7.1, report out of closed session.
No report out of closed session, President Campos.
Thank you, sir. 7.2, CSEA President Rosa Galvan. Okay, she's not here. Moving on to 7.3, CMI TA President Angel Love Behrens.
I think we're on.
Mhm.
Good evening, Ms. Anaya, Mr. Stanford, Mr. Hall, Mr. Garcia, Mr. Campos, and Superintendent. Good evening to all these members, our cabinet, and our community. As a president of CMITA, I want to begin by thanking you for our ongoing partnership in supporting our staff and students. The beginning of each and every year is always filled with energy, possibility, and shared commitment to the success of every student who walks through our doors. The next round of contract negotiations will be this Friday, and we are committed to approaching those talks with transparency, collaboration, and a focus on solutions that strengthen our school and the education of our students. We know that when staff are supported, students thrive, and that will remain the heart of our proposals. I also need to address a matter that's weighing heavily on me. One of our colleagues is currently on administrative leave pending a review with HR. While I understand that certain details must remain confidential, I urge the district to ensure that the process is fair, respectful, and resolved in a timely manner. Extended leaves impact not only the individual and those that work with that person, but also have adverse effects on the students this early in an academic year. Every employee deserves due process, dignity, clear communication, and during these situations. Our union will continue to advocate for fairness, professionalism in all matters, while also working towards a successful outcome in the bargaining table. We recognize the challenges ahead, whether it's staffing shortages, funding concerns, or meeting the diverse needs of our students. We also see the opportunity to rise together, collaborate, and prioritize what truly matters: the quality education, equity to all, and the respect of every role CMITA members hold in our school. Together, we can move forward in ways that reflect our shared commitment to students, staff, and the integrity of this district. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to 7.4, Principals Update. I'll give you the welcome back.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, good evening, President Campos, Board of Trustees, Dr. Rao, Cabinet, and I just would like to say good evening to my new bestie and the newly elected president of the Heritage High School Dr. Dotson Fan Club, Cindy. Which means I got to put my glasses on. I promised Cindy that I'd give her a shout out in public, so she's thrilled to death about that.
Promises kept.
All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. Our enrollment, we started this school year off at 1,040. Of course, you realize our cap is 1,050. But as you can see, we don't have space in any of our, except for our 5th grade, but we don't have any spaces left in our 6th, 7th, and 8th. However, we do have still open seats in our 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. But it's very hard to get high school students, if they're not coming in straight from 8th grade, those 13 seats that are the seniors, we can almost guarantee those are not going to get filled. So, saying that, while I'm working on our materials revision that will be presented to you by the prior to the September board meeting, I think I'm going to try to do a little adjustment on those numbers because we have seats in the lower grades. We just don't have them in the higher grades. And like I said, it's hard to find high school students that want to come to CMI when they've been so accustomed to not wearing uniforms and so forth and so on. So opening more seats in the lower grades will help because a lot of our students, they go on, they stay. If they start early enough, they're so accustomed to wearing the uniforms that they stay throughout the year. So anyhow, that's where we are right now. We are still making phone calls and getting any students that are in the grades that there are openings, that we still have seats available. We're making those phone calls and getting those students enrolled in our school. So we should be at our cap by the end of next week, I'm hoping. But once again, like I said, when I do the materials revision, you'll see that we will have more seats available for the middle school and lower grades than in the high school. Oh yeah. All right. So our walk-around days were very, very successful. We had 880 families show up for our walk-around. Yeah, 880 families showed up for the walk-around. So it was hugely successful. All of our staff, they did a wonderful job greeting and letting the families feel very, very welcome at our school. And so yeah, we got nothing but positive feedback from the walk-around days and how easy it was for parents to get their students their books, their schedules, and so forth and so on. So it's my understanding, and of course I wasn't there previous years, but it's my understanding that this was one of the smoothest openings that CMI has had in years. So keeping with the theme of the superheroes, we had our staff development meeting, and we had professional development on that Thursday and Friday, and very well attended. All the staff were very, very satisfied with it, with the information that we put out. One of the things that I emphasized, re-emphasized, and re-emphasized again is accurate enrollment and attendance every period of every day. And I made it my expectation that attendance will be taken within the first 10 minutes of each class. So have a warm-up for your students to be doing while you're taking attendance. But it's my expectation, and we've been pretty successful at that. Very successful, in fact, because they don't really want to come to the principal's office. I don't understand why, but they don't want to. I want to show you something. So yesterday we had our inaugural flag football game. It was our first time ever having a flag football game on our campus, and just happy to say that we won 7-6. And this girl right here, she's a star. She's a star. High school, yeah. Yeah. So 7-6 was our first game and our first victory. Yes? Yes. Yeah, it is. Okay, we had this was the first day of school. We had so many parents that came through and commended us on how smoothly the first day went. I got to tell you this, there were there was a motorcycle police there, nailing people left and right. They were zipping past this guy. They must have forgot that school, this was the first week of school, but they nailed him. Woo, back and forth. He was getting them all. So anyhow, it was a very smooth opening. We have the grandson of our own Mr. Alfredo Andre. He's one of our newest sixth graders. Very, very happy to have him. And I believe, oh yeah, what's upcoming is next Thursday we have our back to school night. Please, if you're available and it works into your schedule, please come to our back to school night. I know if you can, you will. So that's our back to school night, August 21st at 6 p.m. I had 127 slides, but I only had 2 minutes, so I nailed it, and I believe I did pretty well in the time that I had. Thank you so much.
Dr. Dotson, you don't have to answer, but I'm addressing you real quick. If in your weekly update, can you please provide the board with the plan that you have working with the unions to bring back more of the military structure within the whole campus?
Absolutely.
Some of the conversations we had about that.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep. I just want to say that it'll be my honor to provide you with that information.
Thank you. Okay, 8.1, invitation to address the Board of Trustees on non-agendized items. Are there any public comments on non-agendized items?
There's no public comments.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to 9.1, consent calendar, approval of consent calendar items. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Garcia. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Stafford. Seeing there's no discussion, please vote. On the vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Moving on to oral reports, or continuing with the oral reports, 10.1, informational budget presentation by Dr. Williams. By the way, and welcome Dr. Williams to the staff.
Good evening, Board President Campos, and to the rest of our board, to cabinet, to our community, and students in the audience today, welcome. So I wanted to come before the board to provide this budget update because we did have our enacted budget and we are seeing some changes, so I wanted to make sure that the board was updated. So this particular slide is just giving you an overview of our budget cycle for an entire year. So in June, the adopted budget was brought before the board. Then we've had the enacted state budget, which was signed, and now I'm standing before you not as a 45-day revision, but as an update, which is very similar. In September, we'll bring to the board the unaudited actuals, where we've closed the year, and we're going to bring you the year analysis of revenue, expenditures, and so forth, and so on. Then we'll come back in December with the first interim budget. Then we'll have our governor's budget proposal in January. And in March, we'll come to the board with our second interim report. Third interims are usually not required. And then we'll get our May revised information that will help to make decisions in our adopted budget. So that's the year at a glance for our budget cycle and all of the major milestones that you'll see throughout the budget cycle year. So this agenda is really looking at the state enacted budget highlights. What happened during that period of time? Additional revenues, and where do we go next? So our 2.3% COLA applies to the equity multiplier, child nutrition, mandated block grant, special education, and youth and foster care. So those various programs will see a COLA increase of 2.3%. We're also going to see at the state level $378 million in learning recovery. When we initially got those dollars, the governor pulled back a percentage. So now we are gaining those dollars back. And then thirdly, approximately $1.7 billion in one-time Prop 98, and this is new. I know you heard about it during budget adoption that it was going to be happening. And this is for student support and professional development discretionary block grant. So those are the three big highlights that I wanted to make sure you're aware of. So how does it apply? Yes.
Oh, and so so my question was going to be on the Learning Recovery Emergency Grant. Are you going to go into the definition of what that would be and kind of the allocation here?
Yes.
Got it, thank you.
So I wanted to take you high at the higher level, and now we're going to bring it down to what does that mean for Paris Union and CMI at this point. So the Learning Recovery Block Grant has some new rules to it. It's not unrestricted dollars. It is restricted, so there are guidelines that must be followed. So beginning in 25-26, LEA, school districts, must meet additional requirements to use these funds. And there are two new allowable uses for these dollars. It must be a part of our LCAP and outline how we're going to spend the revenue. The district also must conduct a new student needs assessment to help guide them in decision-making around expenditures. Additionally, training on mathematics and ELA frameworks are now new allowable usage. So those are going to help in the areas of math and ELA. And again, this will become a part of our LCAP plan. So that's the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant and the allowable uses for those dollars. The next one is Student Support and Professional Development. And this is a block grant as well. So allowable usage are listed there. Professional development for teachers, again on ELA, ELD, which is English Language Development Framework, Literacy Roadmap, and Mathematic Framework. Also, teacher recruitment and retention efforts are allowable uses of these dollars. Career pathway and dual enrollment. Keep in mind that the funds are available for expenditures through 2029. And then we have a report that's going to be due to CDE September 30th of 2029. So it's a great opportunity for teams to plan on how we're going to use these dollars over the next few years. So how does this impact CMI's budget? So at adopted budget, we didn't know anything about these two additional revenues. So you see their revenue at $18.3 million. After the state enacted budget, we're seeing an increase of $401,000 approximately. where they're getting about $96,000 for the learning recovery and $305,000 for the student support and professional development block grant. These dollars will be shown and a part of the first interim budget when we bring it to the board in December. Anytime new revenue comes in, we always make sure that it's updated in our budget for the next interim reporting. And again, this is all restricted dollars, so it has guidelines and regulations for usage. So here I'm just basically showing you some of the flurry of federal activity that's impacting federal education programming and funding. We've had the executive orders, we've had the budget proposal saying, yes, we're keeping Title I and special education, and proposes for other funding cuts. Then we had the one big beautiful bill, where we also saw where our federal funds were being held up for specific programs, and everyone was advocating at the state level and various organizations that we want those funds to be released. Due to all of the advocacy at the state level, luckily those federal funds have been released and are coming to districts very soon. So very excited to report that. So just wanted to kind of give you the context of what we've been dealing with uncertainties around our categorical programs. Next year, in the 2026 budget proposal, it states there that maintain Title I and special education funding, but there are other proposals for cuts and elimination of federal programs, including Title III and others. We will continue to watch the development and continue to keep the board updated, because any of those changes will impact expenditures in those particular programs. This is really important. This is the CBO during budget development with our glass ball out. I don't have one. That's a myth. But what is going to be extremely important is the planning, communication, and teamwork during the development of our multi-year projections. As you see, we have this new revenue coming in. It's not all going to be spent in 25-26 or 26-27. So we're going to need to take those dollars, create a plan, and then spread it out over the years, determining what are initiatives and things of that sort. So we're not taking it all and dumping it into 25-26. It is a strategic plan that needs to happen so that our students are getting services over long term. So multi-year projections are not guaranteed. It changes, because as we get new information, we are using that information to make our projections. So this is an important piece. It takes the entire district working together at the department level, at the site level, that we know what our needs are, so that we're putting those in our budget and preparing for it. So looking ahead, it's going to be very important that we continue to monitor enrollment changes, because we know that we're funded on the P2 ADA number, and that's the prior year. So when we're bringing you the budget in June, it's based on that year ADA. So we have to make sure that we're monitoring. That's why I'm looking at attendance. You know, how many students are in the seat? Are we meeting that enrollment that we thought we were going to meet, and having those conversations at the cabinet level? Next, we're going to bring to you in September, again, as I shared with you, that end of the year analysis. What did last year look like as it relates to revenue, expenditure, contributions, and all of that? Then we'll come back to you in December with our first interim budget, which will include our multi-year projections, where we're forecasting 2 consecutive years out. Any questions?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment that I want everybody to hear. This right here, what we just got presented with, is what you all have been asking, and we as a board have been asking for the new hires to do, and she's doing it. This is everything we're asking for. I'm very proud of you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Dr. Williams, you're on CMI's agenda, so for when we go to our regular board, I'm sure you won't do the whole presentation, but we'll see the numbers for that.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Anybody else, or? Okay, so my one question on the enrollment, if the projected, so let's just say our ADA last year was, I don't know, our enrollment was 1,050 capacity, right? Or how do I, trying to figure it out, like, can we be penalized if they're giving us last year's ADA allotment, but we have more students this year? Or will they kind of readjust to say, hey, you're starting out with more, so we're going to give you more? Because otherwise, it's kind of like we're starting at a negative, you know what I mean? Like, if we've exceeded our enrollment and we're getting last year's ADA amount, which is less than the current, it's kind of like we're getting penalized, so we're getting less money for more students. Or do they make an adjustment? I'm just trying to wrap my mind around kind of how that works, because, you know, Dr. Dotson, I mean, we're at 99% right now, which is awesome, and I know that we want to grow and build a program, but, you know, to start out at 99%, which is great. I don't know if, does that hurt us from last year?
That's an excellent question. How we build the budget is based on P2, and that's every district in the state of California. It's based on our P2, and if something happens at the end of the year where we're revising P2 for some reason, where we've gotten more students identified because of Saturday school or something to that effect, then we would make that adjustment at first interim. But again, it still goes on the prior year.
Okay.
And that's how we budget each year, based on that.
Okay. And you know what, the one thing, thank you for, obviously, it seems like you're working with CMI on that, and I know that last year there was some kind of discrepancies with how money was allocated and spent with the LCAP and everything, but I hope that you guys are definitely, we don't want that to happen again, because it put us in a different position, but, you know, I'm sure you're aware of all that, and thank you for making sure that they're, you know, obviously they're paying us a fee to make sure that their stuff's being looked at, that there's oversight, there's a second set of eyeballs, so that you guys are managing your money the most efficient way possible, because I know there's a lot of needs, and there's a limited amount of cash, and so making sure that we're spending the allotments of cash properly and putting them in their categories where we're going to take it out is going to be huge, because I know that kind of made a difference. But if that's happening and you guys are on that same page, thank you for that.
And we're going to be doing a budget roadshow for all principals and department leaders in September, because I am new and coming into the process. I want to make sure I know it and make sure that all the leaders know it as well. So we will be having those meetings at each school site and each department leader to say, here's what we have for your budget. Is this correct? Have we allocated it correctly?
Dr. Williams, you have been using the term P2. Can you please briefly summarize the meaning of P2 for our board?
It's the principal apportionment. There's a P1, principal apportionment 1, which is usually higher than 2 most of the time, because it's that beginning of the year. And then we get into P2 right after the winter break. So that's where we see some drops and some fall-offs because of holidays and students not coming as regular, and winter and colds and things, flus, which impact the attendance. So we operate on the P2 principal apportionment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board.
Moving on to written reports, 11.1 discipline, June 2025 monthly suspension report. Now I'm on 12.1. Okay. We're moving into action items, 12.1 personnel, certificated personnel action items. Do I have a motion? Thank you, sir. Trustee Garcia. Second. On the first, do I have a second? Thank you, Trustee Hall. Please vote. See no discussion. Upon the vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed. 12.2 personnel, classified personnel action items. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Garcia. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, trustee Stafford. Seeing no discussion, please vote. On a vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed. We're moving on to 12.3, personnel approval of a memorandum of understanding between the California Military Institute and the California School Employees Association and its California Military Institute chapter number 778 regarding classified work year calendars for the 2025-2026 school year and 2026-2027 school years. Do I have a motion? So moved. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, but I also have a question. I just want to make sure, even though I can't get an answer from you guys right now, I'm hoping it'll get to me us one way or another. I just want to make sure with the unions that you guys are working to make sure the big goal is to sync the district's calendar with other districts nearby. Are we all on the same page with that? Okay, that's all I want to know. Thank you. I'm referring to the other districts nearby.
Feeder districts.
Yeah. But thank you. With all due respect, I want to stay in compliance with the board rules. In the future, please don't holler out. You know, I just want to be respectful because that's what we're trying to do amongst ourselves as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so seeing no discussion, please vote. Upon a vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 2 opposed. 12.4, curriculum resolution number 01-020-2526, public hearing and resolution for pupil textbook and instructional materials compliance regarding the Williams Act material sufficiency for fiscal year 2025-2026. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Garcia. Do I have a second? Thank you, trustee Anaya. Seeing no discussion, please.
Public meeting.
Oh. Okay. Okay, so on the language chart, do you just want me to, how do I? Okay. So I'd like to open the public hearing by seeing if there is any public comments in regards to this at 5:51. No public comment? Are there any public comments?
There's no public comments.
Okay, thank you very much.
Click.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so the hearing is now closed at 5:52. And so we're moving back onto the motion now to vote, correct? Yes. Okay. So now please vote. On a vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed. 13.1, other items by the superintendent. Dr. Ross?
Thank you, President Campos. Well, I would like to take the opportunity to welcome all the CMI educators or teachers or classified staff, all certificated employees, and our students and our families to the 25-26 school year. So welcome back, and to the students who are new, welcome to CMI. I am confident that working together, we are going to have a very successful 25-26 school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ross. Okay, so 14.1, other items by the Board of Trustees. Trustee Anaya? Thank you. Trustee Stafford?
Just welcome back to a new school year. I hope any concerns that you had before the school year were dealt with over the summer. If not, I'm sure they will be. Let us know if you have any major issues. Also, I'll keep an eye out for those motorcycle officers. So, Okay, well, welcome back, everybody.
Thank you, trustee Stafford. Trustee Hall?
Just looking forward for another, what? Okay, can you hear? Okay. Just looking forward for another great year from you guys. It was a pleasure getting out there last year as my first time, and looking to see all the great things that we can do together, making sure our students are first, our teachers are taken care of, and, you know, it just rolls down here. We want to hear from the bottom up. So let us know what you need, and I'm planning on being on that open house.
Thank you, trustee Hall. Trustee Garcia?
I too want to welcome everybody back. I'm looking forward to a wonderful year. I know we have a lot of changes taking place, but I'm asking you all to be faithful in what you guys do. You guys are amazing, and I don't want to take that away from you guys. Stay faithful in what you do so we could all be successful. And I know that our students are going to reap all the benefits. And my goal is to see them come back and bring whatever they've learned back to the community, their businesses, you know, their families. I just want to see this town grow.
Thank you, trustee Garcia. And so me, finally, you know, number one, welcome back to the student, staff, everybody. Dr. Dobson, I think you're off to a good start. You know, it's glad to hear that the staff feels like it was a smooth kickoff and that all that's going well. You know, students, thank you for being here. I think one of the things that is so cool with CMI is your uniforms. I mean, I just think that it's cool. You guys are organized. You look professional. You guys do a great job in representing. So thank you for that. And it's just one of those things, hey, we're looking forward. I know there's a lot of different things. By the way, Dr. Dobson, thank you for your responding to some of the concerns with parent emails. You know, I thought you handled it in a very professional way. And you know, just so you guys know, there's a lot of things that go on and decisions that are made. Some we're aware of, some we're not. And so at the same time, we're always looking to best, like Trustee Garcia and everybody else said, we're always looking forward to try to do the best for you guys to make sure you have a great experience. And so I think, you know, this year will be nothing different. Obviously, hopefully better than years before. That's always the goal. So thank you, welcome back, and that's it for me. So moving on to 15.1, adjournment, regular meeting of the California Military Institute for April 13th, 2025. Do I have a motion? Thank you, trustee Hall. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, trustee Garcia. Please vote. Seeing no discussion. Upon the vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed, and this meeting is adjourned at 5:56.